Salutations! My name is Kartosael and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Trilogy mod pack, Minecraft modded stuff. Last time I left you I was in the Twilight Forest. We just killed a lich and I'm missing dirt here. I'm missing dirt all over the place. And the episode before that we started working on applied energistics, and that's actually what I want to continue today. So the little machine we had here to create those seeds is gone now. I relocated it. I added these power lines and they flump to the ground. Actually this is another one of those coverings, but I just used the grass block. So it looks like it's going into the ground. Technically it actually kind of is. Of course it's going to be night soon. Naturally. So I have to wait a bit. No, that's not the button I was looking for. So yeah. If you right click on these trophies they actually make a mob sound, which is kind of cool. So I made a hole in the middle of my floor and I will explain later what that is for. I can assure you it is all about applied energistics, which, just as a reminder, what it is, why we're doing it, is a way of storing items. So this is the room I made for it. The little cable we saw above ground feeds into this energy acceptor, which can turn pretty much any energy type into AE energy, or, you know, redstone flux, apparently. And oh look, the crystals are ready. Well, that's a lot more than I was expecting. And we have this device again, and it's working. These cables provide the power. I was using the wrong cables all along. Oops. Because these are the expensive cables, and I thought, you know, maybe the cheap cables work, but they do not, sadly enough. However, having the machine on all the time isn't really all that useful, now is it? Because it does drain energy. So I added this Emmy toggle bus, which just requires one of these cables, a bit of redstone and a little lever, and I can turn it off. As you can see, there's a little bit of blue light. It's very hard to see even here, so I'm not sure you can see it on YouTube. But this machine turned off, perhaps that's a bit more obvious. So this is the place where we're going to put it all. However, just about everything in applied energistics you want to craft, except these basic machines, require these chips. What are they called? Circuits. You need these circuits. Now there are 3 types of circuits and a silicon press. Is the silicon press different from the circuits? Yes. So first there are 3 tiers. Naturally I always forget in which order those tiers are. I think the logic requires gold. It does, as you can see, slowly churning energy into a printed logic circuit. I believe the engineering press requires pure Certus quartz, or is that the calculation? It is the calculation. It was just not even accepted if the wrong one's in there, which is useful. So the calculation, and then the final tier will be engineering, which requires diamonds. Yes, it does. Marvelous. Now these are only half fabricates, they're not really the final product. As you can see, you can really only use them for one thing, and that is together with printed silicon. That's this guy. Let's make 3 of those. Hello. Can't I just... No, I cannot add a stack in there, it has to be manual, that's annoying. Huh. It's very annoying. But okay. Oh, that was the wrong button. That was just stupid. But I do that quite often. So now we can add one of these. Yeah, it's really only onesies. Has to be completely manual. Oh, that's annoying. So we get this, the logic processor. And the same goes for the others. My zombie pigman isn't that great. Got the calculation processor. Finally, the engineering processor. Now I'm going to make a couple of these off camera so that we can just build to our heart's content. So all the processors have now been made. Well, at least 10 of each. So that will hopefully keep me going for a while. Now we actually need to think about storing our items. Now ME works all about... Oh wow. Thank you for Thaumcraft. Thank you. It's all about, well, turning items into data. Well, technically it's already data because it's a game, but it turns a item into 1 byte. And you can store these bytes in so-called storage cells. Well, there are quite a few of them, 4 to be exact. 1K, 4K, 16K, 64K. Let's just start with the cheapest one. Need 3 iron, 2 quartz glass, 3 redstone. Why? Oh, that was weird. So yeah, got that. We need some iron. Let's just grab a whole bunch. And we needed a storage component, which requires some either charged, normal or pure. By the way, do not try to turn charged quartz crystals into pure ones. I mean, no, not what I meant. Charged, do not grind them up. They will just become dust. They will not, there's no advantage of using quartz that's charged over that isn't for creating these pure crystals. Whereas these are very rare and very necessary for a lot of things. So try to use those if you want to create the crystals. What else did we need for that storage component apart from the crystals? 1 logic processor. That's the lowest tier, technically. So I would say that the pure crystals should be a... Not at all how that was supposed to go. There we go. Then add this. That, not too difficult. Oh, look at that. We have achievements too. So this shows us 2 informations. First off, the amount of bytes, and second off, the amount of types. Types is a different type of item. Pretty obvious, actually. Whereas bytes is the amount of that item. Let's say, for example, we take gold ore. That's how many stacks would this be? Over 10 stacks. This is still 1 type, but it is over 640 bytes. If I wanted to turn all this gold into my storage, so you can already see that that's sort of going to need a lot of these things. However, let's say we take this chest, which has so many different things. If I count these all up, maybe we'll get up to 200 bytes, but a lot of different types. So if you are going to store a lot of different types of items, like from a mob farm, if dropping bows and armor and whatnot, then you could just keep with using these. But if you want to store stuff in bulk, like this, or this, you should probably go for the bigger ones. Maybe even this one, but it's getting pretty expensive. So then you would need to create 3 of these, which require 3 of these. So that's a lot of gold in there. Although that might quite be worth it. So we have one of these cells now to put items in them. I'm right clicking, left clicking, shift right clicking. Oh, no, oh, I did not know that was a possibility. Shift right clicking actually gives you an empty housing and a storage component. Now that is useful if you want to get those storage components back to create one of these. You can upgrade the storage component and put it into the housing again. I did not know that, but it still did not allow me to access this inventory. For that inventory. For that you're going to need something that's called an Emmy Chest. Now where are you? There. It's a bit expensive to build, especially this guy. There's a lot of logic. So I'm going to make this one off camera because that's just a lot of clicking. I'll be right back. And here we go. We have an Emmy Chest, which, of course, as you might expect, doesn't do much without power. So let's grab that thing. Where should we put it? This was accessed from crafting one of the ingredients. So I just put there. It's an illumination panel. Draws power, gives light. Great. So let's just start a little bit of a network over here. And we have a chest. Now this has two places where you can click on it. As you can see, if I click on top, it says it cannot reach storage cell. And in here it has one of these icons, which this guy fits marvelously. And you can see the top changed. Check texture changed. And we can now put stuff in here. So if you put that in, you can see it's 59. And you can see that's apparently 16 bytes. What? But if you put these in there as well, and we suddenly have 4 types. And it doesn't convert 1 to 1 apparently with the bytes. Maybe it does. I'm confused. So very confused. Regardless, that's how that works. It is all nice and dandy, and of course you can search for things in here, which is very useful. However, if you have a bunch of these guys with different storage capacities, which is all nice and good, but how is that any better than a chest, for example? I'm going to sleep away this rain because it's annoying. Would have helped if I actually made roofs. There we go. So, as I said, how is it going to be any better from chests? If you just have to get down here, access them, we even have less of a... It's kind of annoying that it defaults on that. I prefer it a bit smaller. This should help. Yeah, now every time I look in here, it isn't immediately focused on the search bar. That is so nice. But as I was saying, it doesn't have much on it compared to an ordinary chest. Oh, I got scared by that zombie. Yep. Unless we make one of these guys. A terminal. Well, that was definitely not where I wanted to put it. That's why this cable's here. Put it on top. And now I can access all linked chests. So I can put stuff in here, get it out, which is very useful. What's even more useful is that this thing can be upgraded with a crafting table. I believe calculation. Yeah. Ooh. So we put this in here. Stop doing that inventory manager. Now we can actually get in here and craft stuff straight from this inventory. So if we were to put all the kind of cobble in here and we want to make furnace, we can do that and it will actually decrease the amount of coal in there, which is very useful. As you can see, it doesn't it does decrease the amount of items in here. Even so, that works very nicely. Let's just put in all the... that's mostly all of the stuff, really. Mostly all of the stuff, yes. I meant the ME stuff. And it automatically sorts. You can... View craftable, stored... Well, we'll get to that much later. And you can buy name, number of items, by mod, by inventory tweaks, so that means it's the same sorting that will happen over here. Item name seems okay. Inventory trees also kind of sounds okay. Or mod. I like that idea. So if we look at our disk now, we can see it has 5 types and 55 of 1024 bytes, which is very nice. However, there's one thing you do need to keep in mind, that if you decide to, if you run out of power, you cannot access your system. It's that easy. Applied energistics really always requires energy. If it falls all out, if your engine's died, you're screwed. You cannot access your items at all. So keep that in mind. Another important thing is called wow. I completely forgot how that's called. Cables? No. No. Subsystems? No. Channels! Channels. Mustn't forget the channels. What the hell are channels, you might wonder? Well, you can't just have 1,000 chests connected to a long class cable and access it all via one terminal. You probably wish you could, but you can't. Simple as that. Technically, unless you decide to upgrade the system, you can only attach 8 items or 8 machines that require channels. Now you might wonder, what is a channel? This is the reason I created these guys. This is a smart cable. This will tell us exactly how many channels are currently active on this current system. And I don't really like the fact that I can see it right over there. So let's have it a bit more here. Like so. As you can see, there are 2 lines here. So that means there are 2 devices. If we were to take out this guy, we suddenly have only 1 device. Let's put this back. Put you back. It still holds this information, which is very useful. So we have obviously confirmed that this requires 1 channel. What happens if you exceed the 8 channels? Well, your network dies. You cannot access it anymore. I don't have so many machines, and I do not have the resources to do that, so I can't really show you what will happen, but if you try to access the terminal, it would just blank out and say, nope, forget it. So what else is actually taking this second channel, you might wonder? Well, the energy cell won't do it. This guy isn't even turned on. So this guy? No. It is the actual terminal itself. Detach the terminal, we suddenly have only 1 channel. So what logic is behind what takes a channel and what doesn't? Anything that really interacts with your data. The inscriber, it uses ME power, sure, but it doesn't use ME data. It doesn't care about the bytes and the types, not at all. And neither does this machine. This machine. Wow. See, if I turn it on, still 2 channels. So only the things that are concerned with processing bytes and types, which is still a pretty wide range, by the way. These are just 2 machines, and there are quite a few. One of them I really like is called the ME drive. It's technically a bit expensive, unless of course, like me, you have plenty of diamonds. I have plenty of diamonds. The ME drive is very neat. It's a bit like a chest. I think I can just attach it. It should have power now, because it's right next to it. It's working. You can see that by the fact that I now have 3 channels activated on this cable. So this is actually on. If I were to put it anywhere else, it no longer is connected to the network and only requires 2 channels. So what is the ME drive? Well, you can store a lot of these things in here as well, much alike the chest. Difference? You can store 10 different drives in here, 10 different storage thingies. Storage cells, such a hard word. Whereas this one only allows you to have 1. 1 cell one storage. One storage, one channel. 10 storage, one channel. However, as you can see, if I were to put this guy in here, there is no way to access the information inside that one except via the terminal. So that's the advantage of the chest, that you can actually on the spot access it. It's not a huge advantage, I admit, but it's an advantage nonetheless. So I'm going to create a couple of more powerful cells and more powerful storage cells, that is. And then I'll be back. But before that, there was one tiny but important discovery I made that makes this task a lot less of a pain. Did I put a redstone in here? No. Weird. You can shift click stuff in here. Too bad I only found that out when making the last 2 processes. So you don't have to click, which saves a lot of work once you actually get to the silicon part. Because you have to click in 3 items every single time. Made me really wish I discovered that little fact a little bit sooner. So regardless, I'll be right back. So I crafted 2 storage cells, and now this, and this is empty. So I have glass and a couple of these things. So glass can also go in here. Look at all the things. Oh, I didn't really want to insert this guy. But look at all the stuff we have in here now. So much. So much. Just look at the amount of gold I have. 681 ore. And that all in these 2 cells. The 60k was pretty expensive. As you can see, it's mainly for the bulk storage. If I want to see which items are in it, I can go in here and access it. So if I decide, you know, this isn't really a useful item type to be in there, I can just grab it out and put a different one in. That, of course, might lead to the next question. Is there a way to control which items go into which cell? Yes, there is. It's called the cell workbench. And it's just one of the things it does. If you place it, I don't know, does that? No, it doesn't require a channel, which is good. So let's say we grab that first cell we had and put it in here. Now we can whitelist any and all items that go in here. For example, items that I will primarily only make on demand. There is no real use to having these items take up a type in this guy. It's just not practical. Because they will only ever be present in tiny amounts. I kind of want you over there. You be gone. Do not have any silicon enough. No. Wafers, I mean. Can add you like so. The pure crystal types of the... No, that's not the one I want. The other pure crystal types I might want to have in bulk because they're required for a lot of things. I think that's all what I have on me right now. No, the cables. Oh, that's not the place I wanted you to be. So anything that really is created on demand goes in there. I know I had some ME cable. There we go. This is an ME, this is Ender IO. So now if I grab you, put you in here. Well, actually we can just put it in the frame. It's actually... I don't know why this guy is orange. It's because it's empty? Well, you can easily see that. You dump this all in and it should sort itself towards that one cell. It's still orange, perhaps because it's... yeah, it's partitioned. That's what this guy does. This is partitioning, apparently. So we can now put this in there and we can see that those items went straight into this guy. Even though this one does have space left, plenty. So that's a very good way of determining what goes where, allowing you much more effectively deal with your items. For example, I think that there might be some nuggets and stuff that might be a good one, because I will probably just craft them anyway. Recraft them into bars. So let's see, we had nuggets, gold nuggets for example, or you could just nugget. There we go. That's so useful, being able to look them up like that. So now all the nuggets will go in here, freeing up some more types than the other ones. So although at the large cells you might consider the types as a restriction, if you do it like this, it actually becomes very useful. This one keeps getting more and more types. What went in here? No, I wanted you. So you can see what goes in here. Some powders I usually immediately turn over into these guys, but that's not entirely necessary. Do it like that. And I really love the fact that I can just grab something in here. Like, oh, and this, I don't like this inventory management. Let's try app mod again. That works kind of. Inventory tweaks, yeah. Let's go with that. Probably was the one I just had, wasn't it? For example, we have rubies. I actually only really want them to be in this shape. So I can just do this. And there we go. Clear. Like so. You can see the number decreasing over there. We're grabbing it straight out of the inventory. There we go. Marvelous. I really love that function. I sure do. And it gives us an immediate direct oversight of how much we have. For example, the 681 gold is a bit more than you'd expect. I mean, it's a lot if you see it in all those rows, but having that number just blatantly in your face, lovely. So that's all. It's still quite a basic ME system. I mean, we still only got 3 channels. That one, and that terminal. It might also be useful to have another terminal in here, so I don't have to do this all the time. If I want to access it from here, maybe even right over here. Actually, that will probably be a pretty good idea. You can still do that because that was one of the ingredients we needed for it. And let's see what we needed for applied. I just turned it to NEI synchronized standard so I can access my NEI while in this screen. What did I want to make again? Terminal. Different kinds, but I just want the ordinary terminal panel thingy. Not the interface, not the crafting, not the pattern, the ME terminal. Alright, I needed these guys. These were pretty annoying. Oh. Hey, that's useful. I think I made the formation ones. Now the annihilation ones. I should be able to create this guy. No. Something went wrong over there. Let's just keep you in there. I think it did. Does this work? It does. Oh, that's really useful. So why aren't you working? Well, weird. It does now. And I'm out of golden chips, which is a bother. So this is just a normal one, not the crafting type, but it will work. Just mainly to keep track of these guys. So that will be all for today. Basic Emmy system. I did turn you off, didn't I? Yes, I did. Good, good, good. It's a bit expensive to get started, but just look at how cool it is. Ah, I love it. It just looks cool. You know I like my looks. Well, that came out wrong. Regardless, thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you again next time.